Hello everyone, my name is Sark and welcome back to another SH Figuarts review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the GT Trunks from Dragon Ball GT. The zesty drink right here. So of course, this guy was a premium Bandai exclusive, which I think is definitely a stupid decision by Tamashii and Bandai themselves. But what else can we do at this point? So this guy is the fourth figure in the GT line of figures of SH Figuarts, with Super 17 and Pan coming soon as well. So right now we have currently available, well, sort of, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and base GT Kid Goku, and now we have Trunks from Dragon Ball GT. So without further ado, let's take this guy out and see how he looks. Alright, so here we have the drink from Dragon Ball GT. This guy is quite divisive for a couple of people, especially because he is a premium Bandai exclusive, but also because of his character design and all whatnot. Because he is not the original drink, he is the one of GT in itself, but this guy stands at a whopping 5 inches, almost 5 inches, to the top of his head, and 4 centimeters. For those that are interested in that, it's about 12.5 centimeters right there. Some people are saying that he is too short, and I don't know if I agree or not, but just to sort of compare that thought, here we have Super Saiyan 4 Goku, GT Kid Goku, and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Now, out of all of this, I do think that he actually scales pretty well with the GT line. Super Saiyan 4 Goku is a freaking beast of a unit in GT. He is a tall motherfucker. So, there's that. Vegeta is like the one character that I do think is kind of out of scale, and GT Kid Goku is actually pretty good in scale, without really doing much else. So there is that. I do think he's actually in a pretty good scale compared to the other figures of the line, but we'll have to see when we get like Super 17 or Pan and whatnot. But yeah, this guy looks pretty decent, fairly basic for the GT line. Like, oh, that's actually kind of nice. So this guy actually looks really nice. Very nice matte finish with some plastic areas here and there. Very, very nicely done. I do like it. Now, one thing in terms of aesthetic choices, which you might not really look at it too much, is the back over here. I hate how they keep doing this for the figures themselves. They didn't have to do this for him. Like, they added 2 big ball joints here, and this section doesn't really connect much unless you like move his torso, but even then it barely does anything for that. So this is like the only real big issue I have with the figure so far by just looking at it. But yeah, overall he looks really nice. A pretty good head and everything, hair and everything is pretty nice, pretty basic. So there's that. Now, in terms of articulation, I do not know how this guy works, but just looking at it, double ball peg, really nice, very nicely seated ball peg. I actually do think that's how ball pegs should be, with the articulation pretty much all the way at the top, and a very lengthy one, so you can actually move to make a lot of different poses. Now, I probably will say this, the scarf is probably going to be very limiting, so let's just take a look. Down, pretty decent, even with the scarf. Looking up, pretty okay, and of course, side to side, and swivel, of course. So it's an okay range, I will say. So not the greatest, definitely being blocked a little bit by the actual scarf. So that is the one downside to this figure. For the shoulders, mine are pretty tight shoulders, I will say. So he pretty much uses the same shoulders. He can T-pose pretty decently. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, and of course a hinge wrist as well that you can swivel and move back and forth however you want. And of course, there's like almost no butterfly. Wow, whoa, wait, never mind. I thought there wasn't, but there is. Those are actually some pretty nicely hidden butterfly joints, I will say. And it actually does get him to cross his arms a little bit. So if they had a sword for this guy, he could probably be able to hold that thing right there. So pretty good. I was not expecting butterfly shoulders from this guy, so that's a plus. For the torso itself, he can lean forward about this far, and backwards is like almost... Never mind. It's non-existent. So there's that. It is non-existent for the back. Of course, a little bit side to side. It's a pretty horrible way that they did this. Don't know why this is not just a singular piece altogether with just a cut over here on the flap, so these two things can flap all together. Definitely could have been done a lot better. So that's like my only complaint right here. The legs, he can definitely do pretty decent splits from my understanding, although his little pelvis area is not the soft kind. And yes, you can remove these. They're supposed to be removable super easily for a certain accessory that he comes with. So there is that. So kicking forward, pretty okay. A little bit better than 90 degrees right there. I will say this is a really good way of doing this type of joint, or like pant leg or shorts, where it just kind of pushes back and it gives you like a perfect 90-degree angle. Very similar to the Luffy, so can definitely see where they got their inspiration from. But yeah, it's okay. It's fine. The splits, they're not really the greatest. Kicking backwards, not really the greatest either. And then, of course, we saw the knee and everything. Foot swivel, very nice. Or ankle rocker as well. Pivot forward, pivot backwards, toe hinge. Pretty nicely done. This should have been painted here white, but it's fine. Overall, articulation, it's okay. He's okay. Definitely not the greatest in terms of articulation, especially compared to the other Dragon Ball GT figures. He is definitely the worst articulated one so far out of the 4 that are currently available right now. But let's move on to the accessories, because this guy does come with quite a bit for not only himself, but also for another GT figure. So let's take a look at those real quick. Alright, so in terms of accessories, this Trunks actually comes with a decent variety, although not enough to actually quantify him being a premium Bandai exclusive that's, I think, $65, or was $65. That's something that I don't think I can justify because of the accessories that he comes with. So just kind of starting to look at these real quick. He does come with a sort of serious expression face, which is really nice. Very nicely done over here. A teeth gritting face, which is again very nicely sculpted, and a shouting face that he's using right there. He does come with 2 extended hands right here for ki blast shooting. 2 sort of grasping hands, of course. Very nice. Very nicely sculpted as well. There needs no be of like nails or anything, so they're pretty much flat altogether. A crossed arm section, which is pretty decent looking, although I do hate that it is from the biceps instead of the shoulders. 2 saying goodbye hands right here. Very nicely sculpted again. Again, just a brown color. And the 2 different legs where he has the hands inside of the actual pockets. Don't know why I was forgetting the name. But yeah, that is all of his accessories. But he does come with an additional sort of pelvis area for GT Kid Goku with the Saiyan tail that you can just attach right here on the back of him, and then it's pretty much done. Now, I'm going to show this real quick right here, but I'll also be making a short about this as well. So for the Kid Goku, you just want to separate the torso from him, take out the sleeve, take off the legs, of course. Well, actually, you would just need to pull out the leg. There you go. So you just need to pull out the legs, so you don't need to take the whole leg, of course. It might be a little bit harder than it needs to be. Yeah. Give me a second. Alright, I was able to remove it, and it took me like 10 more seconds. So yeah, here is the original pelvis area it's a little dirty, apologies. So pretty much the exact same section, he just needed a hole on the back of him. That's pretty much it. So Don't know why they didn't include this in the GT Kid Goku one, honestly. So now you just attach his little, his legs back on the right and on the left side, and then you put his tail on the back. I thought there was a different skirt piece for him. I guess not. So you just attach the tail. It's not the most secure thing ever, and I kind of don't like that. But now we have the skirt piece right here at the bottom. I swear he came with another skirt. Okay. So now I can put this here, and wait, give me a second. Alright, so this is literally how it's supposed to go. I don't like it whatsoever because it goes underneath the actual, like, shirt area for Goku, or the skirt area. It works. My real big concern about this is that the tail just pops off so easily compared to everything else. Like, it's super loose in there. You can't really push it in or anything. And if you do, it still won't stay in. So that's like my only concern, is that the tail in itself won't actually stay on the figure. So I can't say that I like this. The figure is alright. So you can't move it downward. That's the issue. The skirt is going to have to be bent a little bit. Now, there is another skirt section for Goku, which you can definitely use. I think it'll definitely fit a lot better for this guy. But it's alright. So let's put him here, because he technically is part of this section now. I guess leading into my final thoughts, Trunks is a fine figure. Is it $65 fine? No, absolutely not. This guy is definitely like a $35, $40 figure, especially with the accessories that he came with. Yeah, granted, he came with like an additional extra faceplate and the pants and everything like that, and also the GT Kid Goku stuff, but it's not $65 worth. Now, if you missed a pre-order, you can definitely find them somewhere in like Japanese retail sites like Nin Game and probably Hobby Genki. They always, in my own experience, they always have extra stock for any premium Bandai figures that just recently released, even ones from last year as well. But yeah, I'm gonna give this Trunks a 6 out of 10. Not saying that the figure is that bad, it's just I think the practices that they did with this figure are very questionable. I don't like the way that they did. There's also a bunch of aesthetic stuff that I don't really like either. The pants don't really work in terms of the actual splits. The knees don't go any further than 90 degrees. That's definitely an issue right there. The neck can't really move too well. The torso can't really move that well either. So there's a lot of limitations with this figure in itself. It's a nice figure, especially if you're just going to have him with the GT trio with like Pan and Goku just posed together. That's fine. I don't think it's going to be an issue. It's just I don't think he is the greatest figure coming out from the Dragon Ball franchise this year. That's, in my opinion, right there. I think 6 is reasonable. He's not bad. He's like mediocre. He's a mediocre figure. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this figure and the practices that they used with the GT Goku and everything like that. I would love to know your own experiences with this figure. Do you like it? Do you not like it? But besides that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.